Talk live worldwide.
Yo.
For over 30 years and still your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
You know what? As long as she fights at 135 pounds, I don't care if she's injecting a horse demon into her eyeballs.
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization. And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest running fight show in history, Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the multi-million-dollar Sports Byline Studios in San Francisco, California. My name is Pedro Fernandez, and of course, this is Ring Talk Live Worldwide. 35 plus years now, the longest running fight show in history. I welcome you, of course, to the Sunday edition, 2 hours live on Sports Byline. Of course, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 8 o'clock in Honolulu, Hawaii. Straight up, we're rocking and rolling and talking combat sports for 2 hours. Of course, Emma coming off the brawl last night. I'm going to talk about the fight that took place inside the cage of the UFC. I'm talking about the fight that took place outside the cage. Of course, that's where all the controversy is. A big riot pursued afterwards. The Metro cops were involved. The security was involved. The bottom line is Khabib almost went to jail. Of course, Khabib being the reigning lightweight champion after defeating Conor McGregor in what has to be described as a grudge match or a hate match. I mean, these guys just didn't like each other. Remember the ordeal where Conor McGregor threw a forklift or a hand cart at a bus and broke some glass, and people got hurt a few months ago, and this and that. Of course, he escaped criminal charges or serious criminal charges because the UFC intervened and said, you know what, if you fight Khabib, we'll take care of this and make it go away, because that's how much money they were going to make, okay? So they made it go away. And now, of course, Khabib comes back and beats him in a fight, chokes him out in the fourth round, and then makes him submit. And then, of course, afterwards goes after a corner man, all kinds of stuff going on. Bottom line is, it wasn't quite the Tyson Holyfield riot of 1996, but it was close. Open phone lines around the planet, 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. And the guilt-free, no-commitment text line. Got a few funny texts overnight. I'll talk about that. 415, the text line, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. You're tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide, a production of Sports Byline.
Like you, with a girl like you. Lord knows there are things we can do, baby. Just me and you.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531. Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
So how do I explain last night? I don't know. I've been in this game a long time, the fight game, but what took place last night is a rare occasion. I mean, here you had a guy in Conor McGregor, of course. His real forte is getting under people's skin, is irritating people. This is what the Irishman does best, okay? No doubt about it. He irritates people. Of course, he irritated enough Floyd Mayweather fans to convince them that he might be able to beat Floyd Mayweather. Of course, they plucked down the $100 to watch the pay-per-view and got taken to the cleaners because it was a rout. It was a 10-round shutout, no doubt about it. I mean, it was all about Floyd. I mean, was Conor in the fight after the referee's instructions and the national anthem? Probably not. I mean, Floyd just toyed with him. Anyway, that's what happens when, you mix a boxer with an MMA fighter in a boxing match. Now, had it been the other way around, of course, Floyd would have got lit up like a White House Christmas tree. But last night, Khabib was he was dominant in the octagon. He was a dominant fighter. He got clipped a couple times, but he was dominant for the most part. He just mugged. I told you, I've seen videos of him on YouTube wrestling bears as a kid, like a 13, 14-year-old kid wrestling bears. I mean, really wrestling bears. I'm not kidding you. Wrestling bears, live bears. So the guy's a bit of an anomaly. He's a different type of guy. So when you call his father a coward and all kinds of different names and mock his religion, the whole 9 yards, he might react a bit negatively.
Khabib, congratulations on your victory tonight, but as I'm sure you're aware, the story is really about what happened after the fight, unfortunately. Can you tell us in your words what caused you to jump over the cage and to go after Conor's team?
What's up, guys? How are you? First of all, I want to say sorry to Athletic Commission, Nevada, sorry to Vegas. I know this is not my best side. This is not my best side. I'm a human being, and I don't understand how people can talk about I jump on the cage. What about he talk about my religion? He talk about my country. He talk about my father. He come to Brooklyn and he broke bus. He almost killed a couple people. What about this? What about this? Why people talk about I jump over the cage? Why people still talk about this? I don't understand. I am respect. My father teach me, hey, you have to be always respectful. My old team, where I'm training California 7 years, everybody know who I am. All my friends, everybody who know me, they know who I am, And I told you guys, these guys, not only him, his whole team and him, they tap machines. I told you guys, when you put him wrong way, he gonna tap. What happened today? They call him 2-time world champion, 2 weight classes, but today he tap. And that's why, alhamdulillah, belt is here, undisputed, undefeated UFC lightweight champion. And and I wanna say something people little bit, it's not people, I think it's media. Media a little bit change MMA. This is respect sport, This is not trash talking sport. This is respect. So I told you before, guys, I want to change this game. I don't want people talk about opponents, talk about his father, religion. You cannot talk about religion. You cannot talk about nation. Guys, you cannot talk about this stuff. And this is, for me, is very important. And thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for waiting for me here. I know my father gonna smash me when I go home because I know he's gonna smash me. And Nevada, sorry. Vegas, sorry. And Alhamdulillah, undisputed, undefeated UFC lightweight champion. Thank you so much. And I'm very proud about, like, all media talk about, he take picture with Putin, something like this. He just called me and he said he very proud of me. I win. And he said congratulations. And you know, I told you guys, everything I'm gonna change 6 October. And I do this. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much.
Scary dude. Absolutely scary dude. I'm telling you, there are two guys that frighten me. He is one, Sergio Kovalev, the WBO light heavyweight title. Of course, Andre Ward sort of burst his bubble. But those two guys, I would not want to meet up with them in an alley anywhere unless I had a gun. I'm telling you, this guy is a monster. The way he took care of Conor last night, he just snuffed Conor out. I mean, it was no contest. They're talking about a rematch. Why would you want to have a rematch when one person's basically murdered the other person or just destroyed them? I mean, you're talking about a guy that tells people in the middle of fights, please quit. I've broken you. I have broken you. Don't make me hurt you anymore. I mean, it was just crazy. Anyway, straight up, we're going to get into that in depth. Of course, the riot. What does that mean? It means the guy's going to get suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. That means, I can see the UFC playing a game here and actually, like, not caring whether he got, his citizenship or his work visa here taken away or anything like that. I mean, I'm not saying it'll get to those extremes, but it just might. You never know with the political climate as it is right here in the United States. Anyway, Khabib, of course, training and living in California, Silicon Valley down there, the American Kickboxing Academy. Bad dude. I told you about him a few years ago that he was just a monster, 26-0 now. Or is he 27-0 now, of course, and stopping Conor McGregor in the 4th round. Some of the Irish people thought that, Conor had a chance. As I said to you, it was slim and none, and man, Slim had left town a long, long, long time ago. So I'm glad it ended up the way it did the fight, meaning that, nobody really got hurt. I mean, that's what's sort of cool about combat sports. And some of you don't get off on that because you like the punishment, like the blood and guts, of course, of the Anthony Pettis, Tony Ferguson fight, which we'll get into. But blood and guts usually means guys having to sell pencils later in life. Sell pencils later in life? What the hell is he talking about? What I'm talking about is like the residual effects of combat sports. In other words, I'll be talking like this one day, and then in a few weeks or in a few months or who knows when, hello, I think and that's what happens. I'm telling you, more often than not, especially in football. I mean, I haven't covered football, the NFL and college football and high school football and things like that for the better part of 4 decades off and on. The injuries in football, man, like I told you, interviewing Mark Gaston, who was a professional boxer. He was a guy that was an all-pro with the New York Jets, the Sack Exchange. That's what he called the New York Sack Exchange instead of the Stock Exchange. He was a defensive end. He was rushing quarterbacks. Of course, he was also hanging out with chicks, and he was a bit of a celebrity in the National Enquirer and the New York Post and things like that. But when he turned professional boxer, I interviewed him one time, and it was like a nightmare because he couldn't pay attention for a minute and a half. In other words, he had something on his mind, and he couldn't pay attention to the camera. He couldn't look at me. Couldn't do anything. So it was a bit of a put it this way. Anyway, the producer was yelling in my ear, get him off the air, get him off the air. But he also yelled that when I had James Caan, of course, of Godfather fame, James Caan, the actor. I had him on the air one time from on TV, a pay-per-view, Mancini, somebody, Hagen, I think it was Mancini Hagen, up there in Reno, Nevada. And James Caan, I think he's the award-winning, I think he's an Academy Award-winning actor. Anyway, the bottom line is, he shows up, and I'm supposed to interview him. So they're going to say, you got to interview James Caan, the Godfather. I said, cool, man. This is going to be cool, man. So he's drunk as a skunk. And I don't know he's drunk as a skunk until he opens his mouth. He goes, I've never met the dude before. I have no idea who this guy is. I mean, outside of the fact he's an actor and I've seen him on the big screen. Nothing outside of that. He's a fight fan. Look, I know nothing else, okay? So he opens his mouth, and he's drunk as a skunk. And I finally say to him, the producer's screaming in my ear so loud, my ear's ready to pop. And I said to him, get him off the air, get him off the air. He said he wasn't saying it in such polite words. Anyway, the bottom line is the late Lou Falsignol, he was a promoter. But as I'm dealing with Caan, so I said, I tried to get out of the Caan interview with like something that would be real easy. So James, give me a prediction. He goes, the world will come to an end in 2015. I mean, he was just absolutely nuts, drunk and out of his mind. But that's what happens when you do live TV or live radio. That's why I try not to do television or radio with drunks and kids. Drunks, kids, and animals, because when you get the 3 of them together, anything's unpredictable. You can never write a script You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Ring Talk live worldwide, open phone lines around the planet. Of course, coming up, we're bringing Johnny Sig. See what Siggy has to say about last night's fight. Of course, he's the godfather when it comes to the boxing world around here. He just lays it out, man, tells it in the Siggy world. Of course, only John Signorella tells it like it is. Bottom line is, we'll bring in John Sig. We'll also continue to cover the UFC as well. You can text us. The text line's hot and happening. 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. November 29th, October 2nd. Live in Panama City, baby, the WBO convention. I'll be there. Check us out, WBOboxing.com. If you'd like to go, you can still check out some reservations. You know, we've got a couple open rooms. The bottom line is we're going to rock and roll. Tearing Panama down, baby. November 29th, October 29th through November 2nd. I'm just kidding. It'll be like a grade school meeting. Just kidding. You're tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Going to Panama.
There is no place I'd rather be than with you.
Yeah.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
What is hip? The mighty Tower of Power. You know what is hip. Ring Talk live worldwide, baby. 35 plus years now. I remember in the beginning they said, you can't do radio. What do you want to do radio for? Then, of course, I went and got this insurance magnate named Joe Gallardi down in San Jose, California of J&J Sports, a boxing promoter at the same time. I got him to invest $4,000 to me. That was in 1984. Look, here we are like, damn, almost 40 years later, man, still rocking and rolling and kicking ass coast to coast and around the world on the mighty internet. Of course, this is Ring Talk Live Worldwide. We take it to Sin City, Las Vegas. Let's bring in Johnny Sig, of course. Signorella, how did you view last night's fight? Of course, I'm talking about the first fight or the second fight. Which one did you enjoy most? The post-fight brawl?
Man, I'm sorry, Pete, not to cut you off. I enjoyed the whole card, and it's a shame that we're actually talking about the aftermath, which is totally juicy, obviously. But I tell you what, I enjoyed the fight. Very tactical, Pete.
Well, yeah, but when you wrestle bears and you beat up bears at the age of 13, I mean, what's a 140, 155-pound guy from Ireland?
You know, and there was a lot of emotion going in. You know, the bus attack and then going after his religion. You don't talk about people's religions and families. You don't do that in this thing. There's supposed to be a code of conduct, if you will. And Conor really got under this guy's skin, and it was obvious. And, you know, after the fight, he showed that he couldn't contain his emotions back towards Conor.
Okay, let's see what Dana has to say about it.
Well, Dana, as you can imagine, we're all trying to make sense of what happened after the fight. Right now, just in your words, can you tell us what you saw, what did happen, what unfolded after everything?
Yeah, so I saw one of Conor's guys yelling at Khabib, and Khabib ran and jumped over the octagon, and you know, went after him. Then eventually, two of Khabib's guys got into the octagon, and one guy hit Conor with some shots and from behind, and then that's it. That's what I've seen. I haven't looked. The Nevada State Athletic Commission pulled the footage from us, and you know, there's an investigation going on. They are withholding Khabib's purse. They are not withholding Conor McGregor's. They looked at the footage and felt that there was no need to withhold his purse, so they gave him his, and they're keeping Khabib's.
With that in mind, I mean, we didn't see the belt put on Khabib tonight. Is he still currently right now the champion, or is that something you're reviewing as well?
Yeah, no, listen, being in there in the middle of this thing when it was going on, I felt that I have to start worrying about the fans and people that are inside the arena, media, the guys that are, you know, that are there watching the fight. And I felt that if we put the belt on him in the middle of the octagon, it was going to rain. And I thought that people would throw whatever they had into the octagon, and I thought it would be a dangerous situation, so I didn't do it. I said, we're going to be lucky just getting him out of here without him getting pelted. So that's what we try to do.
You mentioned the Athletic Commission, but we saw Las Vegas Metro involved as well. I'm sure it's still kind of unfolding right now, but are you aware of any legal implications, any charges that are being filed against Khabib, his teammates?
The way that works is Conor was one of the guys who was attacked and things like that. Conor refused to press charges. So the guys that they did have, they've released. There were three guys from Khabib's team arrested. I think they were from Khabib's team. I don't know. That were arrested, and they were released because Conor didn't want to press charges.
How about for you internally? I mean, they look like two of the guys that got in there, we believe were on the roster. I mean, Islam Makhachev and Zubair Tukhugov. Would you take sanctions against him or Khabib?
Of course. The guys who jumped in will never fight here. They'll never fight here. Listen, I've been working hard for 18 years to build this sport, and many of you, I know there's a lot of media here tonight, and some of you, this is your first event. I can promise you this is not what a mixed martial arts event is normally like. And, you know, when you have such an amazing event that we've worked hard to build over the last several months, and it goes perfect. I mean, literally, it was too eerie. I kept saying, this is too crazy, man. Everybody made weight. Everything's so smooth. Everything's this and that. We took all the right precautions, you know. Those of you that have been to many events, too, you've never seen this many Metro police officers in the building. And, you know, security was unbelievable. We had meetings. I think the last meeting we had with both teams was during the OSP Reyes fight. We did another meeting with them on what's going to happen. And this is the way I was going into the octagon, and nobody else until, you know, I felt like we had control, and I would determine who could come in and who couldn't. And everybody signed off, and everybody was cool, you know, but I don't know. nobody saw Khabib diving over the, he scaled that thing like he was a parkour guy. It happened so fast, the police did what they could do and the security. But they did a great job of containing it. Because I know, I was at the Tyson Holyfield fight when that thing was crazy. It just spilled out into the crowd. Then it spilled out into the casino, and it just seemed like it wouldn't stop. And when it started, I had visions of that because I was there. It was scary. And they did a great job of containing it because usually that stuff spreads like a wildfire. So props to them and thanks to them.
Danny, I know you always tell us that you never tell guys what to say or what not to say or how to hype a fight or whatever, but this thing was so emotionally, politically, charged in the build-up to it. After this happened, is there any regret that maybe you allowed it to go on or didn't step in?
This isn't the last time. This isn't the last time guys are going to say mean things to each other. It's the fight business, It's the fight game. It's how it works. So, listen, people have been saying mean things to each other for 18 years here at the UFC. Nothing like this has ever happened.
Yeah. And last thing for me, Dan, I appreciate you talking about this. A rematch between those two seems both incredibly lucrative and also incredibly scary, with what would happen. So give us an idea kind of where you stand. I mean, should these guys run it back, or is that an awful idea for the UFC?
We have to see what happens with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I mean, not just the commission. I mean, there's going to be fines. There's going to be God knows what, Can these guys get visas and get back in the country? You know what I mean? And I mean Khabib. We'll see how this thing plays out. And, like I was saying, been doing this for 18 years, and the biggest night ever, and I couldn't be more disappointed. You know me, I'm usually mad at everything, but I'm not even mad. I'm just really disappointed.
Dana, you said that the bus incident was disgusting. The press conference was the darkest press conference ever. Today you're disappointed. Do you regret using the bus footage, which kind of incensed Conor? I mean, looking back to kind of how it ended up right now, would you do the same again?
I would.
Okay.
It's part of the story.
Yeah. Where's Khabib? Where's Khabib right now?
He's here.
Is Khabib? Are we going to be able to talk to him, or do you know?
I think so. Yeah, he'll be here.
Okay. Did you get a chance to talk to Conor after the whole incident, and kind of what's his mind frame after the fight, and also
he didn't care. He didn't care about the fight. Meaning the fight after. He was more concerned about the fight. The fight.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said, "Listen, man, I'm upset. I don't give you any of that stuff. We don't like each other. Whatever. It happened. He didn't even press charges. He doesn't like Khabib and the whole deal, but he didn't even press charges against him and his team. He doesn't care about that. He cares that he lost the fight.
Have you talked to Khabib? Right?
I have not.
Okay. Thank you.
What did he say to you in the octagon?
Who?
Khabib. I saw you talking to him in the octagon.
Yeah. So Khabib, I said, he said, put my belt on me. And I said, no, we're not going to put the belt on you because I think that the fans are going to go crazy and they're going to throw stuff in here. He says, I don't care. I'm ready for this. I said, yeah, well, the other 20,000 people that are sitting here and paid for tickets aren't ready for this. You know what I mean? And he said, if I have to be arrested, then I have to be arrested, but I want my belt put on me. And then finally, Cormier and Rockhold did a great job of helping contain, the situation and get him out of there.
Cormier and, of course, Luke Rockhold, both teammates at American Kickboxing Academy down here in Silicon Valley where Khabib trains. Now, I've got to tell you, Johnny, I'm sorry, I've got so many questions. My mind is sort of blown away by this. Are there criminal charges? Do you think a criminal charge will be forthcoming in Las Vegas? What did the newspaper say this morning?
I don't think there'll be criminal charges. The athletic commission's reviewing the tapes. I'm sure Metro Police out here are reviewing the tapes as well. And I think we're going to have to wait and see. But I don't really think that he's going to have criminal charges against him, Pete.
Okay. It was an interesting night of mixed martial arts, no doubt about that. And we'll talk later about the Tony Ferguson. In fact, we'll hear from Tony Ferguson. We'll talk about the Tony Ferguson-Anthony Pettis fight. Of course, Anthony Pettis, a former lightweight champion, and Ferguson, a former interim champion. But you got to give Ferguson some props. I told you 6 months ago, he was like almost decapitated at the knee.
I tell you what, man, what a fight that was last night. I can't wait to go in depth with you later on about that. Great fight.
Next up on the Sports Byline broadcast, folks, going to stretch things out a little bit and talk about the greatest Muhammad Ali. In other words, let's bring in some box. Let's bring some Ali into your world, because most of you have never heard Muhammad Ali in depth. I mean, you've seen maybe a couple of clips here and there, but, I found these unique clips, and I, of course, having been associated with him, I can say that, associated with him, having spent some time with him, of course, here in the United States and abroad around the world, I could tell you that he truly was the greatest. I mean, you've heard interviews from Chuck Wepner, people like that. You've heard it. Everybody has met him, Johnny, has nothing but great things to say about Ali.
They say that if you were around them and you were a doctor, you become a better doctor. If you were an electrician, you become a better electrician. If you were a boxer, you became a better boxer, and so on and so forth.
The great Johnny Sig on the Sports Byline broadcast network. Next up, we're talking Ali on Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Louisville, Kentucky, wearing black tie, Mr. Cassius Marcellus Clay. For his first reading, Mr. Clay will honor us with a recitation of his classic poem, I Am the Greatest.
This is the legend of Cassius Clay, the most beautiful fighter in the world today. He talks a great deal and brags indeedy of a muscular punch that's incredibly speedy. The fistic world was dull and weary. With a champ like Liston, things had to be dreary. Then someone with color, someone with dash, brought fight fans a running with cash. This brash young boxer is something to see, and the heavyweight championship is his destiny. This kid fights great. He's got speed and endurance. But if you sign to fight him, increase your insurance. This kid's got a left. This kid's got a right. If he hits you once, you're asleep for the night. And as you lie on the floor while the ref counts 10, you pray that you won't have to fight me again. For I am the man this poem is about, the next champ of the world, there isn't a doubt. This I predict, and I know the score. I'll be champ of the world in 64. When I say 3, they go in the 3rd. So don't bet against me. I'm a man of my word. If Cassius says a cow can lay an egg, don't ask how. Grease that skillet. He is the greatest. Yes, I'm the man this poem is about. I'll be champ of the world. There isn't a doubt. Here I predict Mr. Liston's dismemberment. I'll hit him so hard, he'll wonder where October and November went. When I say 2, there's never a 3rd. Betting against me is completely absurd. When Cassius says a mouse can outrun a horse, don't ask how. Put your money where your mouse is. I am the greatest.
Is there any doubt he was the greatest? No doubt about it. Muhammad Ali, born in January 1942, of course, passed away a couple of years ago. Has some health issues down the road, some caused by boxing, but straight up, nobody told it like it was better than Muhammad Ali. Now, we look at the weekend of boxing, of course. The kid from Japan, of course, still undefeated, former WBO champion, Naoya Inoue. Now 17-0, 15 KOs. Seems to be able to move up in weight from 112 to 115 and now 118 pounds. Is this guy for real, or is he just a Japanese anomaly?
This morning, he violently KO'd Juan Carlos Payano in one round, Pete, within a few seconds. At 118, that's devastating power. We got another guy, Sarung Vasai, there at 118. Can these two guys dance for me, please? Because I really don't care about boxing underneath 130 pounds. But right now, this 118 division, or like these 115-pounders, they're starting to crack, bro.
Well, the Thai guy is the real guy. He's the real deal. He should be featured on American television. I mean, prime-time American television, because I think American fight fans would get off on the fact that he's so good at what he does. He's not pretty. He's just brutal. And, of course, the way he beat down Chocolito in the first fight, it was controversial. Yeah, okay, we'll take away controversy in the second fight. There was no contest in the second fight. He got knocked the duck out. So the bottom line is HBO's franchise fighter at 115, that was Chocolito, and HBO decides to get out of boxing a couple of months later. You think that's a coincidence, Johnny?
Part of their demise, but I think the writing's been on the wall for a while. You know, and speaking of Sarung Vasai, he got his 20th win in a row last night, as a matter of fact, when he fought in, where did he fight? Over in Thailand, I believe.
He fought at home. Listen, you trying to tell me that he made more money fighting at home than he would fighting on HBO? You know that didn't. You know that ain't the story, man. HBO didn't give him any money.
Well, I think that's why they were using those Superfly cards quite frequently, because they didn't have the budget, to pay anyone over 130 pounds with names, with the lower weight classes. Unfortunately, they fight for peanuts, Pete.
Okay, what about this IBF champ, Artur Beterbiev? Is he the real deal?
Dude, that was a shootout last night against Callum Johnson. Artur Beterbiev now 13 KOs, knocks out Callum Johnson, who's now 17-1 with 12 KOs. Beterbiev dropped Johnson, Pete, at the end of round 1, right? And then Johnson came back and floored Beterbiev in round 2. Shootout the whole rest of the way, only went 4 rounds. Beterbiev gets the knockout, and he's a strong dude. And I like when I see someone get floored and get off the mat to pull out the victory.
You know, it says some of the headlines, Gusano Rojas shocks Johnny Gonzalez. Johonny. That's how Johnny spells his name. I think Johnny was shocked when he looked at the birth certificate and realized his parents misspelled his name.
You know, that's a huge mistake there, a huge gaffe, right?
No, actually, but here's what I've been corrected by people in Latin countries saying that's correct spelling. No, they just got it wrong and they won't admit it.
It's funny, when I used to get love letters from girls when I was in elementary school back in the day, obviously, that's how they used to spell my name. And I'm like, you guys got it wrong. But I guess I could see the John. I guess Sean. I don't know how they're hearing it, but yes, you are correct, man. It is popular in Latin culture that they misspell that, unfortunately.
Heavyweight Jarrell Miller was in action. What did Jarrell do this weekend?
Oh, man, he knocked Thomas Adamek out, bro, in round 2. And Adamek did the right thing. He went after Miller's big 317-pound, yes, guys, you were hearing that correct, 317-pound body. And Adamek had the right game plan. But I tell you what, Jarrell Miller just was like, nah, bro, that ain't going to happen here, and just mowed him down and threw a lot of punches. And Adamek, long in the tooth, got knocked out in the second round.
I thought Jarrell Miller needed a dentist. You trying to tell me he needs a dietitian?
Yeah, I think he's a little big. I understand to each their own. If he's comfortable, you know, fighting at that weight, to each their own. I don't want to judge anyone's life, but that's a little big, man.
But, man, here's what's up, though. If you're 317 pounds, you should never lose a fight in your life. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If I was, come on, man. If you're in shape and you can fight at 317, you should never lose a fight if you're that big. Anyway, bottom line is, Jarrell Miller, contender or pretender?
We'll see. I think...
jury's out?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like last night he was slapping Adamek around with those bear claws. You know, Adamek, a lot smaller framed fighter, you know, to deal with those kind of shots. But I think a better seasoned fighter, you know, that's coming up, maybe a Dillian White, or even I saw a guy last night, Daniel Dubois, 9-0 out of the UK, fought in England last night against Kevin Johnson. Didn't stop him, it went the distance, but I'm glad it did, because I saw tools in this kid. So a boxer that knows how to make a man that's 317 pounds work in the ring. I like the advantages of that guy any day of the week over the bigger guy.
Kevin Johnson, wasn't he at the Last Supper?
Oh, man, he's 137 years old, Pete.
That's what I mean. Wasn't he at the Last Supper? I mean, come on, that guy's but he put on. Did he put on a decent performance?
I got to say, yeah, he gave the kid good work, you know. I mean, he took a lot of punishment. I thought he was going to get stopped in round 4, but the savvy veteran that Johnson is was able to go the distance, and I'm glad it did, because I really wanted Dubai to get that lesson last night.
You know what's funny is that we were talking earlier about Ali just for a second. Somebody just shot me a text. I had interviewed Ali's first opponent, Tony Hunsucker. He was a fireman, I believe, in the Louisville area, and Ali fought him in his pro debut. I think it went 4 or 6 rounds. Can't remember what it went. It went to decision. But he said he was later in life. He thought that Clay was just a pop off at the time, and then later in life he realized that fighting Cassius Clay back in 1960 was like the peak of his life. He didn't realize it for 15 or 20 years, but man, 15 or 20 years later, he was really proud to have lost to Muhammad Ali when originally he held the chip on his shoulder.
That must be something else, man. That's his claim to fame right there, and I'm sure he honors that memory. I mean, anyone like we talked about before that's been around him at that point, yes, he wasn't, you know, the polarized figure that he became in Muhammad Ali, but at the end of the day, he did ultimately become Muhammad Ali, and that guy shared the ring with him, so that's amazing.
There's a guy named Rocky that holds a WBA 168-pound title, and Rocky is going to fight Canelo Alvarez in Madison Square Garden, which is a bold move by a Mexican, because a Mexican has never went into the Garden before and been the headliner that I can remember, and I'm going back a ways. I just can't remember a guy going in there and saying, guess what, we've got a Mexican in the main event, and he's your big pay-per-view draw. Puerto Ricans, Trinidad, people like that, De La Hoya, I understand, but De La Hoya was Mexican-American, but I don't remember this before. Do you?
No, and I give Canelo a lot of street cred, man. He's earning a lot of points over the past couple of weeks with me, you know, fighting Rocky. And Rocky's only lost one time to Callum Smith. He was actually blown out in 1 round by Callum Smith. But we've seen that Callum Smith proven right now to be a good fighter. But at 168, I mean, he's going to have his hands full. I think it's a tougher fight than I thought we would have gotten with David Lemieux. I thought we were going to get Lemieux December 15th. This one was a surprise to me. Yeah.
But Lemieux's a foregone conclusion. Plus Lemieux can really crack.
Oh, God, yeah, he can. He would have left hook on that kid.
Yeah, so I don't think, you know, I mean, why put your guy in with a guy that can crack the hardest in the division, even though he may be the 4th or 5th guy on the line? But, nah, I don't know. Anyway,
he's limited, yeah.
Yeah, he's limited. Who was the best fighter this weekend as far as... wait. No, I'll ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think shined this week as far as boxers were concerned? I mean, you can look back on the week, of course, of October 7th and 6th, and who really shined in the world of boxing?
Again, I like Daniel Dubois, the heavyweight. You always like to see a good up-and-coming heavyweight come up. The fight of the weekend in the boxing world, in my opinion, was Beterbiev and Johnson. Jesse Vargas and Thomas Delorme last night had a good fight. Also on that DAZN card.
Time out. Talk about the Vargas card. Of course, Vargas, formerly WBO welterweight title holder.
Yes, Delorme and Vargas last night fought to a draw. Both got dropped. Okay, Vargas went down in round 10, Delorme in round 12. And it was a close fight. It was a very good fight. The only reason why I'm not buzzed on it, I hate that draw. The one thing the UFC does really, really good, odd number rounds. Can you give me 11 or 13 rounds instead of 12? Because we got to negate these draws. There's too many of them nowadays.
You know, I had the WBO talking 13 rounds a couple of years ago, and then it just sort of went away. I mean, I did. It just went away. I mean, I was, hey, what about the 13? Yeah, we're going to look into that because, 12 rounds is an even number of rounds. That's why a 15-round fight was a 15-round fight. I mean, that's just the way it was, okay? There were very few draws in 15 rounds. Plus, of course, 15 rounds increase the residual effects. I look at the guys that fought 15 rounds, and, man, they took a licking in the gym, and, of course, for 15 rounds. 45 minutes of battle. Think about that. Over 36, Johnny. That's a big difference.
Huge difference. I don't want the 15. Pete, there was a lot of fatalities and a lot of bad things residually what came by way of 15 rounds. I think I would like 11. I think it makes the fighter step on the gas a little bit quicker. We get that odd number round in there, and I think it just remains, it keeps the sport remaining a little bit safer.
Roberto Duran, Manos Di Pietra, told me that, bringing title fights 12 rounds gave him a second run at life. Had title fights not been 12 rounds, had they been 15 rounds, he doesn't think he could have beat Barkley over 15 rounds. I mean, Barkley is big as a monster as he was back in 1989. Of course, Duran capturing the WBC middleweight title, the last of his championships. But, Barkley, here's what's sort of funny about Duran. Duran beat Leonard one fight when they were both at their peak. Then he had the Omos fight and then the old man fight after that. But he beat Barkley, and Hearns beat Duran, but Barkley beat Hearns twice. You see this round-robin stuff? They all fight each other. It's not like today we're wondering whether Canelo can beat this guy or Jacobs can beat this guy. Back in the day, we knew.
Yeah, I hate that we have to wonder, and style certainly makes fights. Hopefully all these apps and all these promoters can get it right. I know Bob Arum is looking to do a lot of deals with Al Heyman. Fingers crossed. Now, I'm hearing a lot of things behind the scenes that certain fights are trying to be made right now. And if we get those certain set fights, that will be amazing, especially in the welterweight division. You know who I'm talking about. Next week, we got Terrence Crawford fighting. I foresee him getting rid of Jose Ramirez, in a good fight. But eventually, he's going to need to go after the Earl Spencers of the world and the Sean Porters and the Danny Garcias and so on and so forth. And the Keith Thurman have decided to come back.
This is hour number 1 of Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Johnny Sig will be back in hour number 2. That's right, the great John Signorella. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Your inside look in the world of combat sports, boxing, and MMA. Of course, Saturdays and Sundays, 11 a.m. Pacific time, live on Sports Byline.
Heavyweight boxing, and that is why it is always something special. Talk about this stuff which they put on in cages nowadays when anything goes. You can keep it so far as I'm concerned.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply, subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
Can't you keep out of trouble?
In the late 1990s, the UFC president Dana White ran a boxing gym in East Boston. It was a boxing gym, of course, that primarily dealt with amateur boxers. There were some professional fighters in the house as well. Anyway, Dana, of course, running this gym on a shoestring budget, not making any money. Nobody that runs boxing gyms makes any money, folks, believe me. Anyway, the bottom line is he was visited by the mob, the Boston mob. Talking about Whitey Bulger. That's right, the infamous, iconic mobster from Boston, of course, that was caught up in snagged up in a dragnet for a fugitive dragnet a couple of years ago in California. Of course, serving the rest of his life in federal prison, no doubt about it, is Whitey Bulger. But Whitey Bulger threatened Dana White, and he said, "You got to give me $2,500 a week, or I'm going to mess you up." And Dana says to him, "I can't give you $25 a week. I don't have it. I'm operating in the red, let alone $2,500 a week." Anyway, what I'm leading to is that Dana White's talking about how, Khabib might be punished by the athletic commission, and maybe Khabib did the wrong things and that. But he didn't go overload on Khabib because, the Russian mafia. You heard him. You heard Khabib mention Vladimir Putin, the Russian president there. But the Russian mob is deep in Khabib. They're all over Khabib, and they're Khabib's right hand. I don't care what anybody has to say. That's just the way it is, okay? And I can accept that. Okay? But at the end of the day, the mob involved in boxing and MMA, eventually something's going to come amiss. Somebody's going to bet on a fight. It's going to be fixed, something like that. Not involving Khabib, maybe involving somebody else. Or maybe Khabib goes an under instead of an over. Bottom line is, the mob has no involvement in combat sports. You're tuned to Ring Talk live worldwide. Hour number 2 upcoming on the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk live worldwide.
Fascinating.
For over 30 years, and still, your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
What the hell's going on out here?
Heard live around the world. and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization.
Yeah.
And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! And Foreman is as poised as can be!
Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hour number 2 of Ring Talk Live Worldwide, emanating from the Sports Byline Studios in San Francisco, California. Yes, my name is Pedro Fernandez, the reigning, undefeated, often imitated, but truly never duplicated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the radio airways, folks. Having defended that title for better than 3 decades. Let's tell the truth, 35 years. So, we're going to have fun in this hour. We're talking MMA and boxing. Of course, I'll bring in Johnny Sig in a little while. We'll hear from the interim, or the former interim lightweight champion of the UFC. I'm talking about Tony Ferguson, involved in a major brawl last night with Anthony Pettis. I mean, it was probably one of the ugliest fights I've ever seen in my life, and we'll talk about a corner not stopping the fight in depth. That's right. A corner is supposed to be there to protect the fighter, not just to give him water and to give him an ice cube or something like that. No, you're supposed to protect your guy, okay? Last night, that corner failed miserably in protecting Anthony Pettis, the former lightweight champion. So we'll hear from Tony Ferguson, and we'll take out a couple of his F-bombs, because the post-fight interviews last night between Pettis and Ferguson, I think there was combined 22 F-bombs between the two guys in 2 interviews. Come on, man. We don't need that. This kid's watching. Besides, it shows your lack of smarts. You're tuned in the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network, Ring Talk Live Worldwide. The Sunday edition, 2 hours, of course, comes to 11 a.m. Pacific time for 2 hours. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Live in New York City, baby. Live on the fabulous internet. You can always check out our work at sportsbyline.com. But you're here live, and I thank you so much, because, you know, there's a million places in the world you can be right now, but you listen to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Johnny Sig will be up in a little while, as will Tony Ferguson. You're tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network and Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables levels, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
Let's look at the numbers. UFC 226 in the rearview mirror. Of course, Khabib stopping Conor McGregor's submission. A rear neck, I take it back, was a neck crank. Basically a choke. 3 minutes and 3 seconds in round number 4. A dominating effort, of course, by Khabib, no doubt about it. Now 27-0. Tony Ferguson in the co-feature defeated Anthony Pettis. It was a corner stoppage. Actually, it was a fighter stoppage because the corner didn't have enough balls to stop the fight. I'll get into that in a little bit. A light heavyweight bout on the same card. Dominic Reyes dominated Ovince St. Preux, the former light heavyweight title challenger to John Jones, 30-27 across the board. In fact, I thought he was knocked out at the final bell, but somehow the referee gave him a pass and it went to a decision. Derek Lewis beat up on Alexander Volkov. It was a knockout in the third round, 4:49 in. And to round out the pay-per-view end of the card, Michelle Waterson defeated Felice Herrig with a unanimous nod across the board in a women's 115-pound strawweight bout. The prelim card on Fox Sports 1, Jussia Formiga was a big winner over Sergio Pettis. A bad night for the Pettis brothers. Of course, Anthony Pettis, the aforementioned Anthony Pettis, former lightweight champion, he lost to Tony Ferguson. It was brutal. And, of course, Sergio Pettis lost a unanimous nod across the board to Josier Formiga. Vicente Luque was a winner over Jillian Turner, and Aspen Ladd beat Tanya Evinger. Basically, the rest of the card, a bunch of hobos. Take it back. Nick Lentz defeated Gray Maynard in, lightweight bout. These guys got to be like 95 years old apiece. TKO head kick and punches in the second round, 119 in. And Tony Martin beat Ryan LaFleur with a KO, a kick, head kick and punches. That was in the third round, a minute in. So that is the UFC results. The events, the fighters' benefits. Fight of the night went to Tony Ferguson and Anthony Pettis. Performance tonight means they each got $50,000 and each extra. And Derek Lewis and Aspen Ladd got performance tonight. So the UFC gave away about $160,000, $200,000 in bonuses. Big deal when they made zillions of dollars. In fact, the money made on this card is just we won't be known for a long time. Let me tell you, $17,200,000 was the live gate at the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise, Nevada. 20,000 people, 20,034 to be exact. That was the attendance. Total gaze, it says $17.2 million. That's a lot of money. That's why whether they want to dump on Khabib, the Nevada City Athletic Commission wants to say, you're done. I don't think so. I think money is going to prevail here, just like it has every other time there's been boxing or a controversy as far as boxing in Las Vegas or MMA in Las Vegas. Remember Oscar De La Hoya 2 days before he fought Bernard Hopkins back in the 90s, in the 90s. I take it back, 2001. It was somewhere around there. Anyway, he cut his hand 2 days before the fight. They cut his hand. They took a pair of scissors, they were cutting off his hand wraps, and they cut a bunch of big hunk of meat out of between his ring finger and his middle finger on one of his hands. So, in other words, he shouldn't have been boxing 2 days later, right? I mean, you're going to fight. You're going to close your hand. And no, they stitched it up, shot him up with some Novocaine and said, go ahead and fight. They didn't even announce it. Nevada State Athletic Commission didn't even announce it at the time. Listen, the show must go on. Much like when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield. He bit him the first time. What happened? Mark Ratner, my buddy, Rat Man, call him what you want, but former Nevada City Athletic Commissioner, now a vice president with the UFC. He got into the ring and sort of convinced referee Mills Lane not to disqualify Mike Tyson after biting him on the ear the first time. Wait, hold on. He just bit him on the ear, bit a chunk of his ear off and spit it in the ring. What do you mean? Am I supposed to wait for another time? This is how Mark put it to him. Do you really want to disqualify him, Mills? I mean, when you get an answer like that, it's you sort of know where to go with that, okay? If you're a company guy. Mills was a company guy. I thought he made a bad decision, but he went with it. And of course, he allowed Tyson back in the fight. And what did he do? He bit Holyfield again. So, speaking of Holyfield and Tyson, somebody sent me an Instagram cartoon or some little animation, this and that. I think it was a video where Tyson's knocking on Evander Holyfield's door and giving back a piece of his ear. I thought that was pretty cute. In fact, you can dig it up on the internet and send it to me. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, back to the UFC card at hand. Tony Ferguson, a monster, no doubt about it. The former interim champion at 155. Of course, tore his knee apart about 6 months ago. And the knee injury was so bad that when I looked it up people said to me, and I talked to doctors, and said, yeah, he won't be fighting no time before 2020. Really? Well, he was fighting 6 months later. Here is the victorious Tony Ferguson.
I was such a crazy mixed emotion, I couldn't even tell. It wasn't even crying, it wasn't even laughing, it was like all of the above. I don't want to bore you guys with my speeches or anything today. I left it all in the cage. I really did. It's been a long, long year for me. You guys have no idea the stuff that I went through. I think you guys have seen a little bit, but tonight I went in there and I did it lyrically. So you guys saw me in there fighting my heart out.
Yeah. I know you were confident in your healing and the surgery and everything, but when he comes out and just kicks your leg right off the start of the fight, was there even a moment of hesitation or a second where you paused or anything along those lines?
No, I smiled. And as soon as I smiled, he smiled back. I think that was the pinnacle of the moment where we decided that we were going to have fun in there. And we were just going to let it all go. He had no answers for my inside leg kicks. He was blocking a lot of my punches, and he was bunched up. This camp, we utilized baseball. Baseball was one of the things in my camp that I had was the sandlot. So we were throwing fast pitches at him, and he was blocking. So I had to throw a couple change-ups, and I was missing a little bit, so I had to throw some curveballs at him. I had to get him to start swinging a little bit to open himself up. And once I did, his conditioning was checked. I made him quit.
You definitely got hurt for a second. Can you tell us kind of what you remember about that and what was going through your mind as you battled back?
I wouldn't call it hurt. Check this out. I don't spar. I haven't sparred in probably about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, check that out. Okay? I have a good group of people that I rely on that we really do they coach me and they drill me, and I have to rely on my own methodology of just my training from previous sports. When I do that, you don't want to take too many hits to the head or to the body anymore in sparring. You don't need to do that, especially at this high level where I'm at. I'm the champ. You guys realize that, right? I've been the champ. I am the champ. You have these two knuckleheads over there making this sport look bad. So when I had that media scrum over there and I yelled at all you guys, straight up, I am the champ. I don't have a belt up here. I don't need to have a belt up here to be the champ. So if you guys want to feed that, go ahead. Put that in your pocket and take it with you. But what I'm doing here is cleaning up the sport. This is an Olympic level type of sport, and it needs to be cleaned up. I've been training like an Olympian. I've took so many different things out of my life that I didn't need anymore, and I just felt lifted. So awesome. Such a great feeling.
Well, and you mentioned the main event. It seemed like you would be in line for the winner. I mean, that would be the fight that makes sense. After what you just saw, help us understand what should come next. I mean, there's people saying Khabib should be stripped for his actions. There's other people saying, put a rematch together because it'll sell millions on pay-per-view. Give us an idea of what you saw, what you thought of it, and what it should mean for you.
Khabib and I deserve to fight. We need to fight for the 5th time. We need to try this out again. He is the champ. I was the intern champ. I'm still the fucking champ. There's no BS in this. Conor does not want to fight me. I saw him when we were walking out to the weigh-ins. He walked up, he did his strut. I turned around, and he stopped. He looked like a deer in headlights. Nobody wants to be trapped inside that cage with me. They don't want to get cut by my elbows. They don't want to get hit by any of my kicks, and they don't want their conditioning checked by me. I'm a different animal than these guys. They want to be animals inside there. I'm the dog catcher, guys. All right? I got a news for them.
This guy trains 6 hours at it in a row. I'm serious. We're talking sparring, not sparring, but running around the gym doing all the crazy things he does. He's got all these unconventional modes of training. Of course, I did a lot of that crazy stuff. I used to box underwater. People used to laugh at me. Yeah, I never got tired, though. See, that was the point. As I was boxing underwater, people were laughing. People used to laugh at me at the swimming pool. What's that guy doing over there? Oh, punchy boxing, this and that. Well, baby, I'm getting myself together. I learned that from the greatest. Muhammad Ali did the same thing as far as increasing his hand speed and the resistance, because, they've got all these resistant bands now. You see Canelo and all these guys and Gennady Golovkin training with these resistant bands. Well, guess what? We didn't have resistant bands back then. We had water, and we used good old H2O. You are tuned to Ring Talk, live worldwide. Take that back to the MMA Hour, of course, live here on the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Open phone lines around the planet, 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. The guilt-free, no commitment text line. I'll go to the text after the break, 415-275-1613. That's the text line, once again, 415-275-1613. I told you I'm off to Panama, and then, of course, probably going to spend some time in South America. I'm going to spend a few days, I think, in Cali, Colombia. Cali or Medellin or Bogota, but Cali is my number one preference. Why? My dog died 4 weeks ago today, and I still haven't gotten over it, folks. I'm like a widower. I kid you not. It's like an unbelievable relationship between myself and the dog. I didn't realize it, but we spent like the better part of 24 hours a day for 12 years together, so it's a little tough. Hey, you're hearing the inner side of me. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast. We're talking mixed martial arts. We'll bring in Johnny Sig after the break. You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
You know, let me give you a little tip about radio. You never want to eat anything until you're about to go back on the air. I mean, you get peanuts or something like that. You don't touch it. The entire commercial break is like 3 minutes long, right? So for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, you're like running around doing this, doing that, right? And then you like try to pop some candy in your mouth. It just doesn't work. 35 years, you think I would know that by now. You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. We're talking mixed martial arts. Because boxing is a big part of mixed martial arts, probably the premier MMA exercise. Does the Zone, of course, the Zone is DAZN. It's a new app happening. They've got Billy Joe Sanders slated to meet Demetrius Andrade for the WBO middleweight title. And Johnny Sig, I've got to ask you, is Billy Joe Sanders clear to fight?
So far, so good. Saturday, October 20th for the 160 WBO strap. As of right now, the fight's still going on. I'm surprised, Pete.
Well, I haven't heard from anything from the WBO at all. I'll probably reach out to them this week for that regards. But he tested positive for an anabolic steroid?
Yes, and the week before that, he was messing with some hooker and offering her crack in exchange for sex. So this guy's a loose cannon, bro. To say the least.
Time out, Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny, I have to disagree with you in one regards. I do believe in transactional sex. In other words, if somebody wants to pay you for your body, go for it.
Here we go. I couldn't agree more, man. It's your body. You should be able to do whatever you want to do with it.
Okay. So the Saunders fight is on. Saunders undefeated. He's a gypsy. He's just like Tyson Fury is a gypsy, of course. That means they live in cars and travel around Europe and things like that. Doesn't Tyson Fury, doesn't he have a house for real? Do you know, does he really live in a mobile home?
No, he lives in a nice home. I follow him on Instagram. I see him in his house. You know, it looks like it would be his house, you know. Posting videos, looking like he's having a good time. I'm sure he likes to go on the road every once in a while and travel. That's part of his nature. Obviously, he has no problem coming to America to fight. Look at the press tour with Deontay Wilder. They hit 3 cities in 2 countries over 3 days. So, I mean, he's a guy that likes to move around, but I believe he does have a nice home, Pedro.
In the old days, we have press tours that lasted 7 to 10 days, man. We take the guys all around the country. I mean, Duran and Hearns would be here. Leonard and Duran would be here. Hagler came to town. Ali came to town several times. Of course, everybody came to town, primarily San Francisco, because we had such a great boxing writer back then. Jack Fisk, the Hall of Fame writer, of course, born Jacob Finkelstein back in 1917, passed away in 2006. But he was the Chronicle writer for over 40 years, born in the Bronx, and, of course, now a Hall of Fame member in both the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the Boxing Hall and the World Boxing Hall of Fame out here in California. But what I'm leading to is that they came out here solely because that one guy ran the column here. In fact, Jack Fisk's column was like the Bible of boxing. Forget Ring Magazine. It was Jack Fisk's Tuesday and Saturday column. I know you're a little too young for that, Johnny Sig, but everybody in Vegas, Bob Arum, everybody lived off Jack Fisk's column.
I have heard of him, and that's an amazing time right there. You know, that's great, and I wish we had more of that to this day. And as far as press tours go, if Fury and Wilder had done more press together, they would have ended up canceling the fight because eventually they would have started throwing hands at each other. They were getting really, really sick of each other towards the end of that.
Okay, well, it's good. And you don't want that. Obviously, what happened last night was unfortunate as far as the UFC was concerned. We'll get into that a little bit more later. As I'm looking at the upcoming schedule, Estrella TV, is that a television network or is that an app?
Estrella TV, I believe, is a Latin Spanish network, similar to a Telemundo, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific, October the 12th. Ferdinand Caraballo taking on Rolando Medellin in the super welterweight bout. The 13th, ESPN's coming back. Of course, ESPN and ESPN Plus, you have that app that you suckered me into buying. ESPN at 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific Time. Terrence Crawford taking on Jose Benavidez for the WBO welterweight title. Now, Crawford fighting at 147. Unproven commodity at 147, Terrence Crawford?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, we know he's great at the weight at 147. We need to see more. The Jeff Horn fight wasn't enough. We'll get a good look here, I believe. You know, Jose Benavidez, good fighter, also unbeaten. Last just blasted out Frank Rojas in round 1. You know, I don't think Benavidez, who, by the way, is a brother of David Benavidez, I don't think Jose gets past him, but I think it would be a good test for Terrence Crawford. I think this one's going to go some rounds, P. I don't see it as a blowout.
Shouldn't Australia's Horn be arrested for impersonating a top 5 contender?
It's a great question. Yeah, I agree. He got lucky on that decision against Pacquiao.
You know, I mean,
he fought a good fight. Respect, but, you know.
I met the guy a couple times. I mean, he's a nice guy. I met him with Jeff Fennick one time, and Jeff Fennick, of course, the Australian icon, the champion in 1, 2, maybe 3 divisions. Take that, 118, 122, and 126, I believe. Of course, Jeff Fennick, the Australian icon. But I don't know. Anyway, we'll change subjects for a second. What about this upcoming World Boxing Super Series? How come that only airs in Europe? Why haven't no American television entities taken that up?
Well, DAZN signed it for this new season 2 that's coming up, which has 3 weight classes, which I think is a little too much, and they're reprising the cruiserweight one that our boy Usyk just won. So, like, why are you doing that necessarily? But last year, what killed it was the fact that there was no U.S. TV, and the cruiserweight tournament, Pedro, was sensational. It was, you know, fantastic, and we got, you know, a star emerged in Alexander Usyk, who's going to fight Tony Bellew in November. But right now, you could get that on the Zone, and here we go. I'm going to talk you into another app. For $9.95 a month, you could get the Zone and watch that tournament. Now, if you had canceled HBO like I did, which I was paying $15 a month for, if you pay for ESPN Plus and the Zone, that's $15, and you get at least 2 cards a week with these apps separately. So that's worth $15 if you're a boxing fan. And they also have Bellator MMA on the Zone.
True. I mean, and then you know what? Those are you got a good point there. So we're talking $15 a month to be a boxing fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. I mean, that's what we're paying for HBO.
100. And ESPN Plus also has other sports like baseball, football, whatever. And the Zone is doing soccer, which I'm not a fan of, but hey, whatever. I'm sure a lot of people are in the world. Obviously, it's a popular sport. And like I said, they're doing Bellator, and they had a nice Bellator, I believe, a week ago. So, and I know they're going after other sports, so this is definitely the future. Don't get it twisted, though. Showtime definitely will be in the mix. They're going to spend a lot of money on boxing to keep up. They don't want to go anywhere.
You alluded to Bob Arum and Al Heyman sharing the same bed together. Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of things, and I've listened to a lot of interviews, people that speak on behalf of the mysterious Al Heyman and also Bob Arum himself are indicating that they definitely want to do deals together. And I think that's a great thing because we have so much talent right now. And for them to do what they used to do in yesteryear, the golden era, the golden days, if you will, is put the best against the best regardless of the promoter. If 2 fighters want to fight, they will fight. And hopefully these guys will allow that voice to be heard by the fighters and the fans and make those fights happen.
Okay. Back to making fights happen. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight didn't happen for a long time because Manny Pacquiao wouldn't come to the dance and sign according to Floyd Mayweather. And, of course, when it finally did occur, it wasn't much. I mean, if that's supposed to be boxing's super fight, that didn't work. Of course, the super fight before that, Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather, that didn't work either. What's happening with these super fights? I mean, recently, super fights have come back alive. I mean, Canelo sort of brought the fire back to the super fights, but there for a while, super fights really weren't that super.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what's unfortunate about last night with McGregor, and Khabib. That was a really good fight, and now it's being taken away by the aftermath, the controversy. Like I talked to you earlier about this, off the air, is that very seldom do super fights, and this was a super fight in mixed martial arts, Does it deliver? I thought that was a very engaging fight between Conor and Khabib last night. Very intriguing, very tactical, a lot happening. And then unfortunately now we got to talk about the controversy. Now in boxing, the last kind of super fight we had was Triple G and Canelo. That also delivered. But then people want to talk about, not being able to do math. Let's remind them, you win the first 6 rounds. All, Canelo had to do was win one more round and he wins that fight. But it became controversial where it wasn't controversial, it was close. So hopefully we get a nice super fight. I don't care what sport it's in, where we get a good fight.
Johnny, you and I have participated in amateur boxing. I talked about this morning as well. If I had to do it all over again, I would have never let anybody ever hit me in the head in sparring. Never, never. In other words, been all body work and that kind of good stuff. Do you think I'm wrong in leaning towards that direction?
The minute you become an athlete, your body starts to debilitate itself. The minute you become a contact sports combat fighter, it's way worse. Every blow to the head is significant. You feel it over time. The residual effects are tough. And I heard Ferguson's interview earlier. He's smart not to spar too much. He's already learned his lessons. He knows the geography of the octagon, So I think to limit sparring and the amount of times you take devastating blows to the head and body, because, folks, if you've never sparred before, sparring ain't light, man. We go in sparring. And sometimes there's stories and who said who about what. It's just the same as it is in the mainstream, okay? People know each other in the gym. So you have to be careful. Too much sparring could damage someone early.
HBO, is this their swan song? Daniel Jacobs versus Sergio, I can't even pronounce the last name. HBO, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, the 27th.
How many times do you think Jim Lampley's going to cry during that show, Pete?
What's he going to? Is he? You mean cry any worse than his wife did when he tried to choke her to death?
Yeah, I set that one up. Anyhow,
let go, Jim Lampley. Let go, man. I got you. Let go. And as a strength sapped out of his body, he let go.
Amazing. Yeah, this is it for HBO. It's the end of an era, and some of my fondest memories in boxing was, of course, watching HBO.
On the other side of the break, we'll hear some Ali, of course, Ali and Frazier rumbling, and, of course, after that, we'll bring back Johnny Signorelli. You're tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. The text line. Text us, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. You're tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
Decision now. Let's listen.
Clarity in the world of professional boxing is spelled WBO. That's right, the World Boxing Organization is boxing's only transparent sanctioned body. You can follow the WBO on Facebook or check out their website, WBOboxing.com. That's WBOboxing.com. The World Boxing Organization.
Has done it. We have a new heavyweight champion in the world.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
iHeartRadio, an app so powerful, it holds 20 million songs from 450,000 artists, thousands of the best live radio stations, custom stations, and stations created just for you. It's anywhere and it's everywhere. Millions of songs, thousands of stations, one free app. iHeartRadio is that easy. Download the app today or listen online at iHeartRadio.com.
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
You see, you try to brush that stuff over on somebody else, man. You try to put that weight on everybody else besides yourself.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, Roy.
Okay. We'll be back with round 7 in a moment.
Sharp suits got on them.
Pretty good.
How old is it?
About a year. About a year. I heard I was going to be on the TV with this attorney at the draft like a lawyer.
Oh, yeah? Well, I thought it was a sports thing. I would come relaxing. I think that...
you look good,
relaxing thing, you know.
You don't explain why you dress like you are.
Well, that's good. You know, I'm a dresser.
You look good, Joe.
I feel good, too. That's where I feel like I should dress for this kind of show, sportswear, you know.
That was the end of round 7, gentlemen, and we'll be back again in just a moment.
You can't do that no more.
We're going to buy him a ticket out of the country.
Oh, boy.
Stand up, man.
Sit down, Joe.
Why you think I'm eating?
Sit down, Joe. Huh? Sit down quick.
Why you think I'm eating?
Sir, the brothers are here.
You doing this too?
No. Sit down quick, Joe.
Well, we're having a scene, as you can see, and it's hard to tell whether it's clowning or for real between the two fighters. This kind of thing has been going on all along in terms of promotion of the fight, and this time it seems to be for real, because Joe Frazier is really angry. Muhammad called him ignorant, and he's really angry. I don't think this one is clowning at all. It's a bad and an ugly scene, and it's unfortunate, I think, that it's happened in the middle of showing a classic fight between two extraordinary athletes. I think that Ali is probably clowning, but there is no question in my mind that Joe Frazier is not clowning. They threw off their respective earpieces, microphones. Joe Frazier's watch came off. There was a wrestling bout on the floor, and we're really very sorry this happened. And there's no question about it. Joe Frazier is leaving the studio now, and he is deeply upset at Ali calling him ignorant. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, but we're going to try and get this back, and we'll be back in just one moment.
You be on time.
As you can see, one chair is now empty. Muhammad Ali is sitting next to me where Joe Frazier had been sitting, and Joe has left the studio in what was open anger, real anger, and there's no sense in disguising the fact.
I would say there was anger on his part, Howard. I'm not angry and still not angry. That's why I'm still here.
All right.
But a man shouldn't be that savage and illiterate to just jump up and stand over me and ball his fists up and as if though he's going to swing at me. I don't know what he was going to do. I had to jump up to defend myself. But I'm not still angry at him. I don't think two black men should be on the television fussing and fighting and acting like savages. This man he speaks ignorant at times. He said, I went to the hospital. I went to the hospital to have my swollen jaw checked to make sure nothing had happened for 10 minutes. And I wasn't going to bring up him going to the hospital because it's true. He was so hurt, he went to the hospital for 1 month. And I don't think it would be a man for me to bring up you went to the hospital because it's not my intention to hurt nobody. But so this is why I said he's an ignorant man to show you how much he thinks. If I went to the hospital 1 month and he went for 10 minutes, I wouldn't say he went to the hospital because he might say I went to the hospital.
All right, you've had your say now. I want to recapture the situation for you viewers. We were showing round 10 when suddenly this difficult situation arose. Joe is not here. Muhammad, as I have noted, has just had his say. I am going to try and serve as devil's advocate to represent Joe here now because he's not here.
You have to be the devil.
And you can,
Joe. You have to be the devil.
I never mind the wisecracks, Muhammad.
That's true.
We're going to show round 10 again. We're going to concentrate on this fight.
Devil,
and
so then you act the devil.
Let's limit our attention to this fight, and let's be absolutely fair in the absence of Joe Frazier. He's entitled to that regardless. Good luck to you. Once again, we want to express our regret at the fact that Joe Frazier left the studio. He felt he had every right to do so. We're sorry about the difficult situation that occurred and the slight skirmish that occurred.
But no hard feelings. We'll be buddies after I beat him.
Okay. That's our show today.
We'll be good brothers.
Thank you very much.
Good black brothers.
See, that's the way fights used to take place. You know, guys had skirmishes in studios and post-fight, that kind of good stuff. This is guys rolling around. Both guys were dead serious last night. I mean, the Conor McGregor team came in there with a lot of hate, and the Khabib team came in there with a lot of hate. Of course, when you go after a guy's religion and you basically castrate his father in public and call him a coward and things like that, you're probably going to get not the greatest reaction to that. And, of course, this is the same guy, Conor McGregor, that threw a hand truck or a hand fork, whatever you want to call it, at a bus. They broke some glass. People got glass in their eyes, and there were some injuries involved. Of course, the criminal charges went away. The UFC got to sweep that under the rug. Now, Khabib, not going to face any criminal charges, but he's definitely going to get suspended for a while. That being said, the UFC, $4.2 billion. Johnny, when you look back at the fact that it sold for $4,200 million, is the UFC a pink elephant, or is it worth that?
Well, here's what's up. Whenever anyone tries to sell something, and I know this about selling my business back in the day, you're getting rid of it for a reason. There might be profit there. You know, it might still be good. And I'm not trying to con anyone at the end of the day, but you're kind of letting it go for a reason. I think the UFC definitely has a life that they signed the deal with ESPN. I think they'll always be there. If they put on events like last night, they'll certainly be there. But is it worth that much money? I mean, didn't Disney just buy the Star Wars franchise for the same amount of money? I think Star Wars is much more of a lucrative investment than the UFC. I might have my numbers twisted, but I'm pretty sure it's in the same ballpark. That's a lot of money, bro.
Worth more than the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Yankees, the soccer teams in Europe. I can go on and on, man. It's incredible. $4,200 million. And when you invest that kind of money, according to analysts that I've talked to, people that invest money for other people, that's the only way to do it. They say you expect a 25% return on your money in the first 2 years. There's no way they're getting a 25% return on that.
I don't see that happening. They might get desperate and allow Khabib, to fight immediately, and get a super fight going. But I don't care how many super fights you have, you're not making that kind of money back. They had a great gate last night, but that's a huge amount of money. When you put it in terms of saying it's worth more than the New York Yankees, worth more than the Dallas Cowboys, man, that's a lot of coin, brother.
Outside of money, John Signorello, outside of money, if you were Conor McGregor, outside of money, why would you get into the octagon again with Khabib?
I guess pride, last night.
Time out. Johnny, let me interrupt you for a second. You just been smashed. You were dominated. It's like this guy almost ragdolled you. He was picking you up and throwing you around. Listen, if I was on the other end of that, I'd have been frightened.
Well, that's where I was going with this. He laid there. He sat there after he was choked out. He looked like a beaten-up child. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looked like someone with his tail in between his legs. He looked like he was broken, meaning Conor. And Khabib was yelling at him, and Conor didn't even want to give him any eye contact, So I think, in all honesty, Conor says he wants a rematch. But I think, in all honesty, at the end of the day, he's got to know in the back of his head, this guy's going to beat him 10 out of 10 times. And it's going to get worse every single time, I think. Because I think he's in his head now. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Khabib's people sucker punch him or hit him from behind. Conor was clipped from behind or got hit in the body. Joe Rogan was saying, I didn't see it, but I heard all this stuff going on there. Did you see any of that?
I did see the footage, and it looks like Khabib's people went after Conor's people. I think maybe Conor's people instigated them and started talking smack after Khabib had choked out Conor, and then Khabib threw his mouthpiece at them. Eventually he would, hop the fence. Other people came in the ring, and unfortunately they sucker punched Conor, which I think is a classless thing to do. Very, very distasteful.
October 27, Johnny Signorello, ESPN Plus, I guess it's going to be announced at time, TBA. Kubrat Pulev, the European, I forget where he's from, taking on Hughie Fury. Can Hughie Fury fight?
Not really. I don't get too excited watching this guy fight. He's one of the guys that will be there in conversation for a minute, at least until maybe Pulev takes him out, which I think Pulev's the better fighter. I think Pulev will be there and maybe take on the Millers and the Konakis and the cats like that at heavyweight. But I really don't think too much of Hughie Fury, Pete. I really don't.
Okay, the same day, October 27th, the Zone is going with Regis Prograis. Tell me about this guy taking on Terry Flanagan. I know Flanagan is a former WBO champion, but Regis, is he that monster?
Yeah, Regis Prograis is good, man. That fight's going to pop off in New Orleans, which I think is great. They're bringing boxing over there. It's a good fight at 140 pounds. And I love that division because you have Jose Ramirez there, Antonio Orozco, Maurice Hooker, Alexido Saucedo. It goes on and on and on. And I think he is the top of the food chain, and I'm looking forward to watching this kid box.
Big move up in weight from 135 to 140. I'm just telling you, the guys are just different size bodies.
Yeah, different framed men. Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, that's the WBC interim super lightweight title, 140, and the World Boxing Super Series quarterfinal. Now, a guy I'm going to have a problem with his name, Ivan Barachanik, taking on Anthony Yigit. Boy, this would be great for a ring announcer. Of course, the IBF junior welterweight title. Hey, listen, I was a ring announcer one time, and I blew Deverell Williamson. I blew his name. I call him Deverill on ESPN, and I saw the look in his face, and I knew right away that I blew the name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're in a world sport, and we're in a world sport, and we have tough names to pronounce. Look at Sergey Deverenchenko, who's taking on Danny Jacobs. That's a tough name to roll off the tongue, bro.
That's why I didn't say it. I allowed you to do that. Now, Danny Jacobs, of course, the New York boy, the guy that went the route with Johnny Golovkin, basically was the first guy to go the route with him in a title fight. Where's Jacobs at now in the middleweight division? Is he the best American?
I think so, yeah. I think he's definitely up there. Deverenchenko is a good fighter, unbeaten, but untested. We don't really know much about him. We see what we get. We also have Jermell Charlo, who's there at 160, and there are talks of him facing Triple G. Interesting, okay? I'd like to see that because it shows me where Jermell Charlo is at among this 160-pound, very solid division. Anything over 135 right now in boxing, in my opinion, is fire.
Well, Golovkin, he was a monster, knocking everybody out, throwing those punches with bad intentions. He wasn't throwing punches with bad intentions against Johnny Jacobs, and he wasn't throwing bad punches with really those evil intentions and evil results with Canelo Alvarez. Did he lose his punching power somewhere?
Better boxers, too. I don't think he lost his punching power. I think he lost his ability to plant his feet and go down to the body and take risks. Like we always say, this is a gamble, and he just seems much more apprehensive against guys of that stature to plant the feet and let the bombs go.
Johnny Signorella's talking boxing, folks. Free agency, of course, that's a big name, big aspect in boxing, a big move in boxing. Now, Canelo's a free agent. What does that mean, free agent? Is he going from promoter to promoter, or is that from network to network?
Networks. They're still with the same promoter. Triple G's looking for a home. I think ESPN's going to get him, and I think Canelo, who's also a free agent, is going to go to Showtime. Danny Jacobs has definitely ended up on DAZN because he's promoted by Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn is in bed with that network, DAZN. So that's where they're going.
Hey, we got about a minute and a half before the hard break at 54. Tell me about Eddie Hearn. I mean, I've met him a few times. What's your impression of him as a boxing writer?
Well, I think that he's trying to bring a lot of content to the sport. I think his intentions are good. Obviously, he wants to make money, does Eddie Hearn. His father was a promoter. I think he's a very good promoter. Look what he's done in the UK. It's a party. It's a celebration every single time they fight. If you could bring a quarter of that to America, man, that would be one hell of a success.
Incredible. Johnny, tell me about this YouTube page you set up.
YouTube, Ring Talk Worldwide. Search it. I want to give a shout-out to my girlfriend, Stephanie, for helping us out. I love you, baby, so much. But, yes, type in, search Ring Talk Worldwide. You can check out all of our shows and more.
Hey, you hit the lottery with the old lady, right?
Thank you, Pete. I know that, my friend.
Tell her I said that. Much love, man.
I will, Pedro. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
The great, the incomparable John Signorella on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply, subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
Check it. About to wrap things up here, of course, another 2-hour edition of Ring Talk Live Worldwide, a production of the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. We come to each and every Saturday and Sunday. Saturday for an hour at 11 a.m. Pacific time. We talk both boxing and MMA. Of course, we come back with the Sunday edition, the 2-hour show, an hour of boxing and an hour of MMA. We sort of mix the two together. Bottom line is 2 hours on Sunday, 1 hour on Saturday. Ring Talk Live Worldwide airs at sportsbyline.com, or check us out on our Facebook page. That's right. Go to Facebook, enter Ring Talk. You can see where the page is all about. Talk about Johnny Sig and all that good work he's doing at youtube.com. I want to thank my guest today, of course, John Signorella, and I want to thank, the fact that I'm able to dig into the vault and bring a clip of Muhammad Ali to each every week, maybe 1 or 2 clips, because, he wasn't just an athlete. He was truly an icon. He truly changed the world. I traveled the world with this man. You would not believe, as I told you a story many, many times, we stopped a train in the middle of China where they had no radio, no television. There were no electrical wires going into the houses. They were, using outhouses to go to the bathroom and things like that. They had no teeth. I kid you not. These Chinese people had no teeth, but yet they knew who he was. So, what can I say? He's touched all kinds of people's lives, and I hope to bring you the magic of Ali week in and week out here on Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Well, at the end, I want to thank my incredible producer. Yeah, sometimes he's a turd, but the bottom line is nobody's better than the great Scott Cuddy. Nobody even touches him. Until next week, keep those hands up, keep your chin down. But don't forget, folks, Ring Talk Live Worldwide is not the only show I do here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. That's right. Of course, I got the Taco Man audio magazine airing Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Pacific time. That's a show of just a whole lot of fun. I have a whole lot of fun there. And I get to play my alter ego, Johnny Taco, my former stand-up comedian name. And then, of course, there's No Holds Barred at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Sports Byline each and every Sunday. Of course, I get to talk a little pro wrestling with Dr. Mike Lano, the Albert Einstein of pro wrestling. And, of course, man, we do the MMA hour as well. Of course, that's the radio schedule, all on Sports Byline. I am a production of the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. So next time, I know you could be doing a million things in the world right now, but you listen to Ring Talk Live Worldwide, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. 'Cause I love you so.